Good evening, YouTubers. Welcome to episode 110 of ShrigleyTube TV. Thanks for coming back to watch some more. If you've been before, if you're new, then welcome. Hope you enjoy what you see. Thanks as always for all the comments. Really enjoy reading them all. Great that. Hope you enjoy what you see tonight. Like I say, we've got a bit of a spread of different things going on. Bit of dyno testing, bit of engine building, bit of Bergerac, bit of this, bit of that. So anyway, hope you enjoy what you see. I look forward to seeing you all next Sunday at 7. Have a great week. Bye for now.
It's Monday morning. Dropped the Winklers off at Granny and Grandpa's house. This is my dad's Jag that he's doing up. You doing it for banger racing, Dad?
No, I'm not saving it for that.
Tell me, it's a manual, isn't it? 2.4 manual.
It is.
Where's the SU carburetor gone? It's got downdraft.
Shoes, downdraft.
Downdraft Solexes. We might have to give them a bit of a clean in the
Yes.
ultrasonic tank then. Does it run?
And there's your exhaust that you've sorted for me.
Oh yeah, there's your. You've got your new downpipes on.
Yeah, it's a brand new exhaust system. Stainless steel by Bell.
It's nice. Oh, it's got a nice plate as well, right? UN.
Yep.
Excellent. The bodywork looks really good, Dad.
It's new wings.
Is it?
Never.
And you know what? I'm loving that cast aluminium airbox. That's lovely, that, isn't it?
Yes.
It's just quality.
There is a lot of quality I found when I've been stripping it. Things come apart when you don't expect them.
That's the same as my Audi. All the front wings are held on with stainless steel screws. Did you know that? In 2002, that's pretty good, isn't it? You know what? The chassis is mint on it, isn't it? Look at it.
Dad, I need a wheel.
Okay.
Where's my wee toilet?
It's in the it's just under the stairs there, mate. You know where the loo is. You've been here before.
Yet to do the dashboard.
The wood looks good.
I've just done that.
It smells amazing. Headlining's good. Yeah. Manual 4-speed. No overdrive, Dad.
Yes, overdrive.
It has got overdrive.
Yes, well, they all have overdrive at the manual.
Ah. Oh, you'll enjoy that. You're going to wire it up on all 4 gears? Like you do with the MGs?
Probably not.
It's like, done all the brakes as well?
Yep, all done up brakes have been rebuilt.
Brilliant. Oh, look forward to seeing you when you pop round in it.
All the front's been rewired because there was no wiring loom with it.
It's very Bez, this, Dad.
So it's,
You know, the red hub.
no, it was just to protect it from rusting, that's all.
All right,
It's going
okay.
to get a proper...
Are your wheel nuts on the wrong way round, or am I being fussy?
No,
They got radius both sides?
they've got radius both sides.
Oh, okay, a little.
And there's only 2 because it's not on the ground actually.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
can
there for
see
safety
that.
purposes.
Yeah, I know it's on my jack, because I've not got one now.
Oh, do you want it back?
No, it's
It's
all right.
under there,
It's okay.
but you have to lift the car up first.
Dad, it's sunning now. I'll do a proper video when it's running. I've got to get to work.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good morning, YouTubers. It's Monday morning. Got to work a bit late, having dropped the kids off. Mum and Dad's is like an hour away, but got in for about just after 9, so not too bad. I've made a list. That's how organised I am this week. So this is the 1200 for Simon. That's got to be in a box, ready to go out later today. So I've just been dressing him up, putting the alternator on, and a bit of water pipes for the cooler. So that's all good. I'm going to read my little list here. 1200 in a box, that's that one. We've got the 930. They're emailing the commercial invoice over to me because that's going to Tennessee to Julian. So I said, oh, could you deal with all the paperwork because I can't. So he's done that wonderfully. So I've just got to print it off and ring up DHL, and that's that organised. Simon Knight, the guy who did the 5-speed gearbox for, unfortunately, he's got loads of building work on at home, so he's tied up there. So he's going to have to miss the test next Tuesday at Alton Park on the 19th, which, although I'm sad about it, it also takes the pressure off me because I was going to have to spend an afternoon at his house with the spare engine that I said I'd lend him and the 5-speed gearbox and fitting it all for him. So that's good news because before I finish work and move to the new unit, which is imminent, I've got to do Alex and Jenny's engine and David's 1040. So I've got both engines nearly all machined. I'm going to get Alex and Jenny's head. I welded it Friday or Saturday. I want to get that on the machine and skim it and then do a dry build today, hopefully. This is just, I don't even know why I'm waffling all this to you, but I thought someone might be interested. And then the goodie bit comes, right? If we can get all this organised today, the Husky's going to come in the workshop where the race imp is, backwards, so that we can offer the engine and gearbox into the back of it and start making a cradle to support it. Because obviously the rear transom now is going to be made of fiberglass to give us extra space. So we have to make a cradle to support the engine, so I could do with it where I get the welder to it. And then the race imp's going to have the engine out. So really good news. I can't wait to get the engine out of that. That's got the offset bore engine, which I've had to just put closure to because I've had to earn a living. But now we're going to revisit it. Having read all the comments I got last time, do you remember we did the big oil squirters? We're going to lose all those. We're going to sort the windage out and see if the horsepower comes. And have a look at it and see how it's fared up as well. So we're going to do all that. I'm going to change the radiator as well, put a bigger rad in the car, because I want to run this thing down at like 50 degrees if I can. And then ideally by Friday, we need to be dynoing Alex and Jenny's engine so it's ready for collection next week. And I need to be well on with David's 1040 because that's also got to be done this month. So a lot to do. So I better stop making videos and get on with it. How I do love to make hard work of a job, don't I? A chap last week posted a post on Facebook saying he couldn't get the trumpet out of his Weber carburetor, so I stupidly said, oh, I'll look at that for you. So I put a socket in. He said you can destroy the trumpet, it's too long anyway. So I thought we'll crush it so it can be grabbed in the jaws with ice. And I've been heating it and tapping it, and eventually I managed to break the trumpet off. So now we're going to have to machine down here and collapse it and then try and find him another Venturi because it's got rust. I don't know if you can see. There's been moisture in there. It's absolutely stuck solid. So we're going to have to collapse it. If we take a section out down the side, we'll be able to collapse it and then it'll come out. So that's what I'm going to do next. A little break from doing Alex and Jenny's engine. I've just been opening out all the holes in the head so that we can maneuver it to get the correct location. It's just over there on the miller. Right, we'll go. Right, well, I've completely hacked that. I had to collapse it in the actual thing. I had to knock this out of it so I could get the carbide down to break it up and then fold it in, and eventually it came out. So just touched on the casing there very, very slightly. I don't think that'll affect it anyway. The fuel comes in via this hole on this side, so it's nowhere near any of that. Oh, that's not very clever, is it? Put it in the right way around. I found this in my spares box. I've got a pair of Webers there that'll never run again, so there we go. That should get him back on the road. Okay, I'm on with Joel, so I'm getting closer to the point where I'm going to get the imp out. I just thought we'd get this head machined so that everything is machined and ready for tomorrow. So what I've done is I've put the drilling in for the supports that go underneath the chamber there, that just bridge the gap between the floor of the exhaust port and this part of the head that's quite weak. So when we put a grub screw in there, little 1/4 U&F grub screw, the load is transferred from here into that thick part of the casting below. So that's the reason for that. I thought about all different options on how to sort this. What I've done is I've drilled the holes out bigger so that when I put the head bolt on, it doesn't have a positive location. When I put the head on, sorry, it doesn't have a positive location. It'll float, and what we'll do is we'll look in through the back end of the liner and make sure that the wheel string is out of sight basically and hidden by the liner, so we can move the head to suit the position of the wheel string because we know that they're in the wrong place. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to skim across and remachine the wheel string grooves. I'm not going to rip loads of material off it to get the compression up because the head's already quite thin and I don't want to take any more life or strength out of it. It worked well as it was. It'll work well again. I'm just purely doing this because obviously I've welded the bit of strength in there, so the head will have pulled a little bit. So we've got to make sure it's flat again. And then obviously, because the wheel strings are so expensive, I always insist on remachining the grooves while it's all on the miller, because that way I know that they'll be concentric to the face and then they'll have equal pinch on them and everything will work out well, in theory. Right, okay, I've just skimmed that and then redone the wheel string grooves with the little form tool there. I don't know if you can zoom in on it. There's a little radius tool that goes round, and we've just literally took 10 or 15 thou out at the bottom of the depth. I took about 10 thou off the face, and obviously I've got to replicate that to keep them the correct depth, ready for the pinch for when the wheel string deforms when we clamp it on the block. So I've got to be honest, I'm a little bit on the nervous side because the wheel string finish is really close to the water jacket. That one's not too bad. It's like these three are in one position and that one's slightly further this way. Anyway, we are where we are. It has worked in the past, so in theory it should work again. What I'll do is I'm going to finish the head now. I'm going to do a little bit of work on the short turn, a bit of a tidy up in the ports, and then we'll check the seats are all okay. We'll change the chamber shape because this is virtually standard. Although I am quite intrigued. I think this has been welded. See it there? See a bit of porosity there? So it's weird that someone's changed the chamber shape, but then not made it how you'd think they'd make it like the rest of the imps. But anyway, no worries, that's not my problem. What we'll do is we'll just get this head up to speed and on the block. In fact, I think what we'll do first is we'll put it on the block and find out if we can make these wheel strings concentric to the liner, because if we can't, we might have to start with a different head because I'm just not that happy with it. Okay chaps, it's the moment of truth. As you can see, I put 3 bolts in some elongated holes. What we'll do is we'll drill it and dowel it. If we can make the wheel strings line up, we'll have a look from this end. Excuse my one-handed approach. Look at that, that's remarkable, isn't it? Can't see a wheel string anywhere. So you can just see it there if I zoom in. But as we let it drop this way, let's go to this end. Yeah, so you can see it there. Because we've allowed it to move, it's going to work fine now. All that panic for nothing. Sorry, I just dropped the phone a second there. Yeah, all that panic for nothing. That's absolutely fine, that. No problem at all. Brilliant. Right, we'll crack on with the rest of the head. In fact, what I'll do is I'll nip it up and I'll drill it and I'll dowel it first. Right, I finished at 4, started clearing the unit of junk. So, as you might remember my Honda 90, the one that I did the big piston conversion on, I pulled that out. That's going to be a pit bike when I go racing next year. I've not had a chance to get near it since I put the engine back together. It's actually a really rare one. It's called an iron head. It's got push rods rather than overhead cam. I think it's about a 1964 model. Anyway, enough of that. Got the Hillman out. Got the Hillman out of the... Oh, hang on. The money's arrived. Yeah, richest man at Moss Road. Come for your second shift, have you? Yeah, he does the day shift at a garage and then comes here at night and paints cars. Amazing guy. Anyway, got the Hillman out. He's been sat in the end of the unit for ages. Fired up first time. I pulled the exhaust off him for something else, for an engine on a dyno. So if you might remember, this is the engine that is all machined at a funny angle. So it has the top of the block is down at an angle, and the pistons don't run true to the crank. So it's all to do with thrust. We'll go through it. I'm going to pull it all apart. I'm going to do some changes in the bottom end because we've got our test next week. We'll see if it fires up. It's an absolute beast, this. I mean, it sounds mega because it's got no exhaust on it, but I was quite impressed that it started up. Just zoom out a bit. YouTubers, it's Tuesday morning. I spent the first hour playing musical cars and vans. I've got the ambulance over there now next to the dead Passat. GSF van going past. I've got the minibus off the road now, parked there because we're going to have to bolt the winch in that, ready for next Tuesday for the practice.
or track day, should I say, at Alton Park, and the Hillman is there ready for me to pull the engine out. That's like my carrot to get through the day, that. So before we do any messing about with my own personal stuff, we've got to get Jenny and Alex's engine built. So I reckon one good day, no disturbances, phone off, just crack on. I should have that into a motor by tea time tonight, and then we can do David's on Wednesday because that's all machined, and then that'll put us in a good state position to start playing then, and getting the engine out of this on the dyno. We'll strip it first, get it on the dyno, see if we can wind some more GGs out. Hillman's got some fans outside. They were just making a video of it. Anyway, thought we ought to do an update on Alex and Jenny's engine. So that's the block. We've got the liners back in. You saw it last week. Faced it with the timing cover. I've bored and honed it to 74mm. So that's a good 1040 bottom end now. We've got the new camshaft here, ready to go in. That's a BJ65 400 thou lift, which is our rally cam that Bob designed for us. Rally stroke race, should we say. The head, I finished doing the ports. Done a little bit on the chamber, not massive because it's still got quite a bit of meat on this head, so I don't want to knock the compression out completely by giving it a, it's always a balance between flow and compression ratio with a chamber like this. So what we've done is just done a tiny bit of relief just to help the air come round the corner as it enters the chamber, or the cylinder, should I say. Now I was going to talk for a second about this. So that's where I've blobbed it with a bit of aluminium, and I've just put that bit of strength there because what happens is with these heads, because it's wheel stringed and it's bolted here outside of the wheel strings, when you torque it down, it effectively tries to break the head down, its spine at the back, hence why they crack here. And I just thought I'd use this as an example. This is the cross section, so that's that bolt hole there, and that's where they crack in the corner. So if we look, in fact, that's got a crack in it. Can you see it? Fancy that? Let's see if we can zoom in. Can you see the crack? Amazing. So all that is purely that it's trying to do that with it, because obviously the point of pressure is here, and the bolt holes are external to it. So it's just an old design, not a problem. We just blob it with weld, and then obviously it won't then crack. So another thing I've done, of course, is whilst I've got it at a stage on the bench, is I redo all the manifold gaskets so that we've got enough, just so the gasket doesn't encroach the port, so that when we put the manifold on, it's all a nice straight run for the air and the fuel to go straight into the engine. So that's that. Got the crankshaft behind me here. We'll get that out in a bit. I'm going to tackle the head first, try and get that shimmed, and find out any problems we've got there. Then we'll turn our attentions to the bottom end, get the crank in. We'll check the mains tunnel and plastic gauge it all. And then what we'll do is put the rods and pistons in. We'll have to then do the piston heights, because if I've had to skim 10th off this, so the pistons will protrude a little bit. So we'll machine them in a lathe. And hopefully by the end of play today, we'll have it. I don't think it's going to be like ready to run, but if I can get the sump on it, it'd be a result, because it means it'll dry overnight. Right, it's Thursday mid-afternoon, we'll say, and we're definitely underachieving. Well, we have got some clearances. They're all wrong, but we have got some clearances, which is a good thing. So we are getting there. I forgot to mention before regarding this bit of weld, another factor that causes these heads to crack definitely is the Davis Craig water pump controller, because what it does is you set a target temperature and you put the temp sender in the top of the thermostat housing here, and then the temp sender says, right, we get to 70 degrees, so it turns the pump on. And what happens is the engine's at 70 degrees, and we've always talking about the thermal expansion rate of an imp engine being really high. The cold water comes in and it shrinks the head, and causes a bit what we call thermal shock, and that cracks the heads definitely. So there's that factor. The other thing that happens when they're on electric water pumps is it makes the valves pick up if it's a fresh engine, because what happens is, because the aluminium contracts so quickly with the cold water, it grabs the guide, and the valve, of course, is red hot. It's always an exhaust valve. I've had it happen twice now, and I've never realised what it was until recently. Both cars had electric water pump control units on. So the cold water came in, the head contracted onto the bronze guide, that contracted, but the valve was still red hot. So obviously it was set with a cold clearance. When it's expanded maybe half a thou, that's enough to make it pick up. So there you go. Anyway, just another little thing I better mention was, you might be wondering what's going on here. All of the spark plug holes have been spot faced, and I've not done that because they were mottled or anything. I've done that because I'm chasing compression. So, you know, if the spark plug goes in the cylinder that little bit more, it just helps with the compression ratio, because we're always struggling to get compression ratio. It's always a battle of combustion shape over compression ratio. Anyway, enough of me waffle, I better get on with the bottom end. Okay, YouTubers, just a point of interest. I'm just putting this 1040 bottom end of Alex and Jenny's back together, and I've tightened the middle main down to its torque setting, and the crankshaft well and truly locked up. And you think, oh crikey, we've got a mains tunnel issue, but I'll show you in a minute what the problem is. I hope it works. It will be the problem. I've been here before. Okay, I'm going to try and explain this without tying myself in a knot. Now, there's a few things I don't understand here about why things are done a certain way. Personally, I would never machine the block. So you can see this spacer here fits between the mains cap and the big plate that goes across the bottom. The idea is to transmit some of the load into the outside of the block and keep it all in a nice rigid position. But to me, you'd always make the spacer the right size, not machine the cap, because they get like a skin on them when they cool down, and some people say you should never disturb the skin. So, you know, these are really good caps. These are LM24, which is a really good material, but to put a flat on it there, it's just took some of the strength out of it, in my opinion. But not that they have a problem, the mains caps, to be fair. They're pretty good, apart from on the 1150s and 1200s, where if they get an over rev, they can crack. But we seem to have found a way around that for the time being. Now, what I was going to say, you can see a witness there where the mains cap has been touching the spacer block, and that's why the crankshaft wouldn't go round. Because if you can imagine, when this was originally made in the factory, the mains tunnel was line bored. They would have torqued the caps down using these two load points here, you know, putting the bolts in, and then they line board it, and everything goes round perfect. By machining that level with these, we've now created a third point of contact. So when you torque it down, it pushes that original tunnel size out of round, hence why the crank won't go round. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take this cap into the back, and I'm going to linish it clear here, try and put a nice full radius back on it. And then what that'll do is when I put this back on and torque it, it should mean that we're back on the original 2 points of contact, which means the mains tunnel will be perfectly round, which means the crankshaft will be going round nicely. But it could all go wrong still, this. But yeah, I'm hopeful it's going to be correct. That actually works really successfully. So got the torque wrench set here. I'll try and hold it to 36 foot-pound. Interestingly, because we're on a UNF thread rather than a UNC bolt, we don't do them to 40 foot-pound because it's a finer angle in a UNF thread. The same clamping force is actually, apparently my friend who's very clever calculated it, it's actually 34 foot-pound, but I've never been able to bring myself to do it. So doing 36, which is slightly more. But now the crank is lovely, perfect. That it has got a slight bit of stiction with a stop, but what that is when we tighten the end two down, it'll push the shells back in the housing and it'll go around beautiful. That, so that's good. Right, wonderful. Okay, you've got the crankshaft going round nicely now. Well pleased with that. It's all torqued up. We've got our radiuses. I don't know if you can actually see that, like a radius now, a tiny bit of clearance, so it's got a full radius over the top of the cap, so they're not touching. So it's just the caps are just held in with the original locating points. On the rear, you'll notice I've not put the spacer in because we don't run these two a spacer here, because the cap is already shielded both sides and is a fantastic design, and it's also you know, bridged to the sump level, so there's absolutely no point whatsoever in putting the spacer plate in there. It's a total over engineering job. I've not fitted them for years. So that's the rear oil seal conversion by Mr. Mark Maynard. Very clever. Runs the 3-inch lip seal, so basically it doesn't drip oil like a standard imp with a scroll. So really happy with that. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to get some pistons out, do some piston heights. Look what the cat's dragged in. Where have you been?
Well, you got to go away on holiday, didn't you? So
Yeah, but
you had a nice weekend away with the imp people.
Yeah,
so
I did.
Thought, well, I might as well have a nice week away.
Well, I would have sacrificed the imp weekend if I'd been invited to the wedding.
Oh,
And now,
would you really?
you tell me that there was 2 parts
Yeah,
to the wedding.
there was a wedding number 1, which
In-
involved a
in the
Lamborghini
UK.
Miura.
The economy version,
That one.
where you only invited a few friends, not me.
That was the cheapskate version, and then went to Sicily for a week, and had
Sicily?
another wedding there. Yeah, it was great.
And same girl.
Unplanned. Yeah, same girl. As far as I'm aware, yeah.
Well, mate, let's not talk about you too much. My ratings have dropped through the, you know, I was nearly getting decent hits, and you've dropped out, and it's all fell apart. What's going on?
You've obviously had nothing exciting to talk about.
You better have some decent classic cars in this week. Have you got anything?
Well, you have to come and see, won't you?
Right, okay. So just
depends what you mean by decent.
you've obviously been sunbathing. Did you put sun cream on? Yeah.
Done all right, haven't I?
So you're a married man. Has anything changed?
Absolutely nothing at all.
Because I've heard that wedding cakes are really good contraceptive.
Is that right?
So they tell me. Obviously,
Right.
I can't comment being on live on YouTube with
Absolutely not, no,
my wife's
no,
family
no.
watching the videos.
We're only 1 week in, aren't we? So.
Yeah, you'll be all right for a bit. Yeah. Normally about. But talking of which, is it in the oven?
Oh my god.
Come on.
Absolutely not.
Look, how old are you now?
I don't need to reveal my age, do I? How old do you think I am?
About 45?
I'm 33.
30, baby, aren't you? You've got a
Yeah.
few years yet. Yeah.
Plenty of time.
You've
Plenty
not,
of time.
yeah, got 5 years. I was 38 when the Russell Meister came. Yeah, good age that. I felt like I'd grown up enough to have children. Otherwise, it would have been
I
like.
still don't think you're mature enough to look
It
after
was like
anyone
children
else.
having children. Yeah, so, right, well,
Yeah, so I need to go back and do some work now, really. So, yeah.
some work. Yeah, mate, I went, because I didn't get an invite, I went with my new tent and my ambulance to
You have
International
a nice
Weekend.
time. You have a nice time.
You know what, mate? The weather made it. It was cracking. I met Roger Nathan. Yeah, and had a nice chat with him.
Sounds
And there was some not many imps there. It was a bit.
No.
There's a bit of a controversy within the Hillman Club.
Why? What do you mean not many imps there? People just not taking the cars?
Yeah, not many from our end went. Well, obviously the guys that organised this.
Did
one,
you take
well,
one?
No, I
Oh,
didn't.
well, there you go.
I failed, mate. I got the V8 to run the bench, and
I know
then,
you did. I know you
And
did.
then I thought if I try and put this in there, I won't get any work done. We'll be skint, and then it'll be just a disaster. So I thought, right, we'll forget the V8 for now. Get some work done. So I did that instead. But yeah,
Fair enough.
it's all good, mate. We're over it
Yeah,
now.
fine
We're nearly. I've had a bit of a pressure phone call from Bob saying that
really?
I have to make a manoeuvre the next week or so
Right.
because the new landlord is expecting me.
It's all going to happen.
yeah, but he wants to get some money back on his
Sounds a bit
investment, doesn't he?
worrying. Yeah.
So,
So
yeah.
by this time next week, you'll be all moved out then. Everything.
Oh
will be
yeah, well yeah,
totally clear,
just
you
got
know.
some cardboard boxes to fill and that. Yeah, no,
3 or 4 cardboard boxes should do it.
I won't be leaving. It'll be the end of the month, but I will be gone. And when I stop, when I've got these 2 jobs out, mate, I am actually tools down,
God.
upset
End of an era.
customers.
Well, it's
I
going to
know.
be a long drive for you coming over here every week to film me, won't it?
Well, I was wondering if we could do like a Skype recording. You know,
We could do like a podcast, couldn't we? Yeah.
I know. It's quite a worry to me. The only thing is, that place that I'm going to is absolutely brimmed with like highly intelligent oddball characters.
Yeah. So
I've
I'm sure you'll find the new
I've got
Bergerac.
infiltrate them. Yeah, your replacement, mate. Yeah.
Terrible.
All
terrible.
right. So
Yeah, in season 2. This
Season-
is season 1. That's season 2, isn't it?
yeah, well, I'm excited. You know what? I'm excited.
Replacing the main character.
And I've had so many people that are like worried about me. They go, Andy, are you going to be okay moving units? There's a lot of pressure for you with all. And I'm thinking, you know what? I'll still go and have my tea and have a hot shower. What's the problem?
There you
Be a bit of stress, but we can deal with that, can't we? As long as we're in and get a chance to get the race car sorted for next year, because I need to go out there and race with the boys, you know. I'm missing
You need
out.
to make an effort. You've been saying that for about 3 years now, though.
Yeah, but the house is nearly finished now. Porch is
there'll
up,
be
driveway's
something
booked,
else. Kitchen, bathroom.
bathroom's new, kitchen's done, extension's done. So the missus will have no angle on me whatsoever. The house will be completely finished. We're going to do the lounge over winter once we've finished all the building work, and then yeah.
So you've got time to crack on then.
So then I'll be able to get on with my Hillman
Lovely.
and go and race. But yeah, well, I've got to say it is sort of nice to see you. So yeah, obviously that'll wear off within the next 5 minutes of seeing you.
Obviously, yeah.
Was it anything eventful happened when you was away? No.
Nothing of note really. No.
Just
no.
did you eat?
I got dropped off at my first wedding in a Lamborghini Miura though, and that was quite.
A Muro.
A Miura. How do you don't know what a Lamborghini Miura is?
No.
V12.
V12.
Have you seen the Italian Job? The car at the start of the Italian. No. Oh my.
Is it old?
60s.
Carburetor.
Yeah, 60s. V12.
Oh, right. Rear engine.
Yeah.
Right. Whose was that? One of your uncles?
Transverse V12 there.
Oh, like a Mini.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What a transverse? How wide's the thing with V12 in the middle of it? Oh, is it north south or transverse? Crikey, you don't even. This is the worrying thing.
No, the fact that you don't.
You've ribbed me for not knowing about the car.
Don't turn this round on me. The fact that you don't know what a Lamborghini Miura is.
You don't know anything about the engineering, like integrity
Let me
of the
find
car.
you a picture.
Useless, absolutely useless. It's just typical modern child. Knows what the car is, but doesn't know anything about it. Come on, mate. This is the viewers are falling asleep.
There you go. Look.
Hang on, last.
Look.
Oh my god! It.
Transverse V12.
Hang on.
Look. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I can't believe you don't know what a Lamborghini Miura is.
Mate, that must be wide at the back, mustn't it?
No, they're tiny. Little baby things.
What size is the engine?
I think about 4 litres, something like that.
Must have some stroke on it. Small pistons. I'll Google it later if I read.
Yeah. They do.
Right, have you seen mine?
They have the gear select to go through like the middle of the block. It's a weird setup.
Oh, that's clever, isn't it? Minimum deflection. See, they're clever, them Italians, aren't they? It's a shame we couldn't put underseal on anything, eh?
The problem is the engine and the gearbox shared the same oil, so
Does it?
it's, yeah.
That's all right. Minis
Miss
do
a
that,
few
don't
gear
they?
change. Yeah, but it's all right in a Mini, not when you've got to spend 50 grand rebuilding your engine.
I'm sure it's got a decent strainer and filtration system. Have you seen my new Audi, by the way?
No, I haven't seen your new Audi. Please
mate.
don't tell me you bought another one.
No.
Is this the one that you've had the wings painted?
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
right. I've not seen it. No.
It's
Nice.
she's a lady, mate. Went to Blackpool on Sunday with the family. Oh, she's not a patch on economy on the PD engine Passat though.
No, worth it.
Just out of interest, Bergerac, and we're talking now like we're not on camera, but do you think I'd be any good at doing a car review? I'm thinking of doing an Audi A6 car review.
Well, maybe you should try it.
Right.
Give it a go.
I was going to get dressed smart, like, or out of.
Do you want to borrow some of my clothes?
Well,
You could put my boots on, couldn't you?
Have you seen this? This is when I first met Bergerac. I've put him on here. Sexual deviant. Look at them shoes.
What's wrong with them?
Mate, they're not normal. Normal human wouldn't wear them. You actually look younger there.
That's got to be 5 years ago.
Before Bertha went in, because that's next door when the entrance was
easy
on.
5 years ago. That
Yeah, that was worrying. That I should have swerved you when I saw them shoes. Do you still own them?
Yeah.
What do you go out
I've got
in them?
about 3 pairs of them lined up, waiting to be used.
Do you think you are Crocodile Dundee?
I think you need to go.
I've only got like work boots and a pair of trainers.
You need to up your game, don't you?
I'm not
You're gonna have to get
sophisticated.
some driving shoes for your reviews.
Really? And gloves, some black gloves.
Yeah.
Birds, actually, I've been thinking, you've got a tripod on it, haven't you? Could you help me do a car review?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Honestly?
I think we could get involved. Yeah, we should do it.
Right, we'll do it in the Audi A6. It'll be funny.
Oh, my God.
Right, we've got a plan. Good morning. It's Wednesday morning. We're a little bit behind schedule, as you can imagine. This the idea was this would be on the dyno Tuesday night, ready to run this morning. But yeah, I don't know how I got absorbed so much in the head. Anyway, I did. So that's where we're at. I've just machined one piston and got my deck height. So it's now perfectly level with the top of the block at top of the centre, so that's good. So I'll replicate that now for the other 3 pistons, and I've weighed the rods, everything's good in that department. So yeah, there's no reason why this can't motor together this morning. Hopefully by mid-afternoon we'll have this on the dyno, although we won't be able to put any oil in it because the glue will need to set till tomorrow. But at least we can start the next job, because come Thursday we're going to need to take the engine out of the racing outside and have a little peep at that if we're going to go and play on Tuesday. So yeah, that's the plan. Right, I thought I'd have a little update on where we're up to. Just about to put the front cover on, got the new chain on and bits and pieces. The pistons are in, so you can turn it one-handed. There you go, turns lovely that. All my piston heights done. I've got my new ARP big end bolts in. Just had some other ones in before, I wasn't sure who made them, so I thought we'll go with the ARP ones. Now the bit I wanted to talk about was, I just knocked the rear seal out. Can you see how the seal hadn't gone in all the way? You can see the tide mark, and the reason for that is something that's an absolute pet hate of mine. I keep watching, like I was watching a video the other day on a bloke restoring a motorbike, and he gets the seals and he just whacks them in the casting dry. Now obviously rubber's got friction, you know, it's got good grip on it, so when you go to put it in the hole, it doesn't always want to go. So people say, oh, you don't use grease because they can work back out again. But grey glue is a great lubricant, obviously, when it's still wet. So if I put this seal in here and just lean on it with the grey glue, look at that. It wasn't even hard. Just goes home straight away to the seat, just because it's got lubricant around it. And then what'll happen is the grey glue will go hard and the seal will never ever come out. So it just, when you're whacking them in, it can upset the structure within. There's like a steel band inside, and it can really upset the seal, and then they don't work properly. So yeah, always lube your seal up with some grey glue when you come to assemble it. Right, my little rant's over now. I'll crack on with getting this together. Right, I thought it was time for a bit of an update, chaps. This is the Alex and Jenny engine. I've done the compression ratio, 24.6 cc's, which gave us 11.561, which is a nice, sensible compression ratio. We should see the 80 foot-pound out of this, no problem. On the dyno, the heads worked out well, everything's worked out well. Got the new cam in there, the 400th hour lift, and done a few bits and pieces. So yeah, it's all looking very good. But I've got a customer stroke friend, Neil, and his son Finn, asking me about cam time, and they've got a GE3 cam in their car, and it's basically a bit hairy. It's got nothing below sort of 5,000 RPM, and they're on the hill. So I said, well, you can try advancing the cam. So you have a lift figure at top dead center, which means that when the piston's at the top, both the inlet and exhaust valves are open. Generally, the inlet valve is further open than the exhaust. So on this particular cam, it's 175 thou. On his cam, I think it's like 165 or 170. So what I said to him was, if you advance the cam timing, it brings the RPM, the peak torque, further down the RPM range. In other words, it makes it more tame. So you might be able to make it work from 4,500 rather than 5 by advancing it, so moving it this way. So instead of having this first lobe open 175 thou or whatever, it'll be open, say 180 or 185. You can go up to about 10 thou advance really quite safely. So just to go through the cam timing for the 500th time, because we probably have got some new viewers on here, it's really simple. There's just 2 rules you've got to remember. You need a good TDC position with the Tipex mark, and always approach everything on the tight side of the chain. So because the engine goes this way around, we take all the measurements when that's tight, not when it's slack. So if I go backwards, the tight side goes on that side, which is what it's just done, but we want it on this side. So I've just backed it off, going anti-clockwise. Now I've dropped the tool. Not able to start, is it? So what I'm going to do is going to go through it from start to finish. All I've done so far is looked at the height of the bucket. It's got them just about equal. Put it on top dead center. I've not even put a dowel pin in here. I've just literally pinched the front bolt so it grabs the vernier. And I've done a lap and just made sure everyone's happy and goes round okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the camshaft position. So it's dead easy this. We just literally turn the engine around until it's done 3 laps of this. So that's, oh, I've run out of reach. So that's not very clever, is it? Right, I'd better start. Right, proper schoolboy error there. Didn't have enough reach, so the pin dropped out the DCI gauge and had no more range. So I've lifted it off cam again, so it's off lift. I've zeroed it. What I'm going to do is try and hold the camera and turn the engine. So we're going to go 175 thou on this first inlet. So that was the tappet ramp, as you saw it back off there before it put lift on. 50, 100, 150, and we're going to go to 75. So that's basically here, which is 25. Right, perfect. That's 26. So that's 176 thou of lift on number 1 inlet at top dead center. If I get coming from this side, we can just about make out. Can you see the valves? There you go, you got a perfect view from there. Actually worked out better than I thought. See both valves. Ooh, there it is, there's the exhaust valve. So the inlet valve is slightly ahead of the exhaust valve. That's the point I'm trying to make. Right, so what we're going to do next is we're going to undo this front pulley without moving it, which it did quite well. That's good. So that's now loose, and all we have to do then is reapproach top dead center from a clockwise direction. So go backwards first, we'll come back on lift, TDC. Perfect. Right, so we now have the piston at top dead center and the camshaft in the correct position, 175 thou. And if we look through here, we can see that the hole that's closest is that one, but it's not correct. So it's dead simple. All we do is we slide this off here, move the chain round one tooth like that, and hook it back on again, one-handed, which I can't do. And that, right, I'll pause the video, and then what I'll do is I'll keep doing that until we've got them all lined up. Right, so all I've done there, sorry, is I've just keep on moving the chain round 1 tooth, because these holes have each hole has a different relationship to the tooth on the outside of here. So by skipping a tooth each time on the big teeth, eventually what we find is, so I'll get a torch on it, we find a hole that lines up perfectly. Can you see it? It's this one. So it's lined up the hole in the end of the camshaft with the vernier. So what we do now is get the little, that's the little dowel that goes in, put that in the hole, give it a gentle tap, home. And then what we do is we put the bolt on and tighten it, and then I'll just do that. I'll put the camera down, and then I'll tighten the bolt, and then we'll approach top dead center from a clockwise direction and measure the lift from there. Right, okay, so all we've done there since finding the correct dowel, locking the dowel in, is I've tightened this this pulley up, this bolt. I've not Loctited it, it's just tight for now, and I backed the bottom pulley off to take the cam lobe off lift, and then I've reapproached it in a clockwise direction until my TDC figure lined up, and obviously you can see the cam is now on lift. So in theory, the number 1 inlet valve is open between, I reckon, about between 175 and 180 thou, anywhere around there. I think, yeah, somewhere like that is going to be our optimum position. Be nice to have it, I'd say, a tiny bit advanced rather than retarded. So if it was in the 177, 178, I'd be happier, because of the nature of what this engine is going to do on the hill. It's the more friendly it is for them to drive it, being a steel car, quite heavy, 4 gear ratios. Although they have got a jackknife box, it'll still be a better job for them if it's got a little bit of advance in the cam rather than the standard 175. Right, so I'm going to back this off now anti-clockwise. I'm just going to drop that on the floor. And that's going to bring the lobe off lift. So I've set the 0 on the DTI. So we'll undo this, or go backwards, should I say, and we'll see what lift it's got. So that's 50, 100. 150, 179. So yeah, nice little bit of advance there. That'd be great. That I'll Loctite it all up and we'll see how it runs on the dyno. Okay, chaps, thought do a bit of an update. It's Wednesday evening. It's time for Andy to clock out. I'm whacked. I can't believe it's took me an extra day to get that together. I don't know where I'm going wrong. We had a bit of a dilemma because we ran out of grey glue. I thought I had a tube on the shelf, but I hadn't. That's the SI 5660. I went out to the shop and I managed to find some SI 5669, which is also a grey glue. And I've used this before. It's very, very similar to that. So that's what I put it together with. But at the same time, this is 50 quid now. These are 20 quid. They used to be 8 quid in Alfred's, but you can't get them from Alfred's anymore. It's all special order. So I've tried something different. I bought some Durco. Now, I've no idea what it's like. I've only used it on little things like the hose tails. Nothing. All the sump, the engine is built with the Loctite. Wasn't prepared to change it in case it brought a problem, you know. But I thought what I might do is the imp that's outside there. You can't actually see him. I'm going to go outside now and take the engine out of that. I should really be starting next 1040, but I thought I'll come in the morning fresh and start that because I'm knackered. I'll just pull the engine out of the imp and then it's out, and then we'll get it apart. I'm going to put it back together again. I'll build it with the Durco to see if it works, because we might move on to this. It seems to be quite good, but obviously we won't know. I don't want to test it on a customer. I'll test it on my own engine first. So yeah, that's where we're at. So all I've got to do is put a bung in for the water, obviously oil pressure switch, fill it full of oil, bolt it on the dyno, which I'll do first thing in the morning. Obviously the glue will be set then in the sump, but I put a proper sump system on it with the baffles and the flaps, standard sump on it. Yeah, it's all gone together quite well, really. Should be a good engine from that. I think I'll enjoy that. Anyway, we'll get some numbers out of it tomorrow, hopefully, or maybe Friday. But for now, I'm going to go outside and have a little Andy treat. Good morning, YouTubers. It's Thursday morning. Look at that cool Audi. I'm well impressed with this car, you know. I'll do a review on it soon. Look at him there. What's up? He's part of the parking problem. I've just come out here to show you. This is something I'm not going to miss about Moss Road. Cars all the way down there. This is all the garages that are here. There's hundreds of garages on one trading estate. So there's just nowhere to park. So when my customers come, it's an absolute nightmare for them. But hopefully, when we get in the new place, because it's on a farm, there's loads of space, so you'll be able to just park up. Now, I've got a confession to make. Last night, you know, when I was supposed to take the engine out of the imp after I finished my engine, my customer's engine, I came outside, I drained the water out of it, and that was as far as I got. It was like 9 o'clock-ish and I was just cream crackered. It was like, when I got in the car, it said it was still 26.5 degrees. So yeah, just a bit toasty for me. I think that's, I'm gonna blame the temperature on my lack of performance. That's what I'm gonna say. We've still got to bolt the winch in the back of it here because it's held in with chains at the moment. So we're gonna bolt the winch in there, get the engine out of the imp. And what I'm gonna do is, I'm going to take the engine out now while it's a bit cooler because it's still only about 22 here, but it's going to be another toasty one today. And then when the engine's out of that, we'll then put the engine that I built yesterday on the dyno and run it. We won't be able to wind it up, but we'll be able to get it on the running in process. And it's going to be cooler later in the week, so when it's cooler later in the week on Friday or Saturday, hopefully we'll be able to get a squeeze out of it ready for next week. So yeah, also between now and Tuesday, we've got to take the engine out of that, bung the oil squirter holes that I drilled in the mains to give it some oil pressure, because even though it hasn't bothered it, it was very disconcerting cruising around with 30 psi oil pressure. So going to do that, and got a few other mods and checks to do on the engine, get it back together again, get it back in the car, because on Tuesday we're at Alton Park having a day out, having some fun. So I'm going to focus on that and just get stuck in. Okay chaps, as predicted, it's 1 o'clock and it's cracking. Oh, it's a bit of cloud cover, but it is lovely here. It's cracking the flags. Got the engine out the Hillman. I'm just waiting for a suitable victim to walk past the workshop that can give me a lift carrying it in. But I thought we'd get on with this, which was the Alex and Jenny engine. So I've not got the fans on, so you can hear me speak, but yeah, he's just gonna having what we call a making friends session. It's where everyone inside the engine just says hello to each other and makes friends. It's like a big social club. So they're all having a bit of a get together. We'll let it just idle for an hour or something, and then we'll give it some wind up move, maybe later this afternoon, because I'm going to pick the boy up from football, and then I'm going to come back to the workshop. So this really exciting. This is the very last engine that I will be building at Moss Road. It's a special engine. This, it's a chap called David. It's a 1040. Got a little bit of work to do on the head. I've machined it all. I think we've been through it in the past. I've just got to lap the valves in, give it its final clean, put some support screws in. It's sort of what I call an engine of my choice. He brought me an engine and it was just like all old Wetliner 998 and everything. I said, look, we can either rebuild this, but for not a lot more money, we can do you a brand new 930 block, a brand new 930 converted crankshaft in it, so everything's like brand new, you know. And he said, yep, I'll go with the new sounds good. So that's what it'll be, a brand new 1040 in theory when it's finished. I just have to give it, I've got the crank in it because I thought we start it, we've sort of, you know, we've started the job rolling, haven't we? And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and put my attention to the engine outside and strip it, because if we're going to get it back together again for realistically Monday afternoon to go in the car to go to the track day on Tuesday, it's just all going to have to happen really swiftly. So there's no time for this, but we made a start on it, which is great. What I'll do now is go and get that engine in and we'll pull it apart together. Right, okay, we're into full playtime now. Just got the engine on the bench. I've had the sump off it and no nasties that I can see. The big end looks good condition, but we will do a full crankshaft inspection on the bench. I'm going to get it out. I just put the clock gauge on to measure the cam time before we go any further. Just wanted to see where it was at really, and it's where I set it basically. It's about 178th hour of lift at top dead, so nothing's changed. What we need to establish is what do we need to establish? I need to establish that the crankshaft and the bearings are in good condition and haven't deteriorated from when we fitted them. So I'm just going to pull it apart. I'm sort of loath to, because I'm thinking it looks like everything's quite happy, but we're not going to learn anything unless we take it apart. If you can probably just see there, this is my posh inlet system where we machined back this face down here and then stuck the manifold right on the end. You can actually see down here, all the way to the valve. No, sorry, I'll try and get a shot later. Okay chaps, slight change of plan. Back in the shop now, and I thought to myself, right, we'll get this engine stripped down. I've measured the cam timing as you saw, everything looked good like that, checked all the valve clearances, they all look good. And then I thought, right, I'll get the head off it and we'll get the pistons out and get the crank out. And I thought, oh, if I take the head off it, I'm into 200 quid for wheels rings. Why do I need to take the head off it? Obviously it's all sealing perfectly okay. So I thought what I'll do is I'll take the crank out to inspect it. We'll slip it out of here with the timing cover still on. You can do it, it's a bit tight. You've got to basically slide the gears along, which they are loose on here. I have just had them moving. It's gone tight now, but it does move. So I'll slide the gears along and then we'll be able to lift the crank up and slide him out this way. Now at the moment it all looks really good. This is obviously the small pin with the motorbike pistons and rods. The guide washers on one side, as you can see, I did that to put the load closer to the support point. So if you look at each one, it's on a different side for each one, so as to keep the rod as close to the point of support as possible. And that one, it's that side. So it all looks good, and it still ran great. No breathing, no oil pressure issues, anything. So take the crank out, inspect it all, inspect all the bearings, and we'll bung them holes that I've drilled holes in the mains basically to squirt oil up at the back of the piston. But I'm going to block them now because realistically it was probably a daft idea. We need a proper squirter that points in the correct position and some more design in it. It was just a bit of an handy idea. But anyway, we're going to get on with it, get this apart, have a look at this crank, and then we'll go from there. Right, okay, that was a relatively painless procedure, that, to be honest. The factor I hadn't taken into account was, because I machined the crankshaft counterweight down, so it was out here originally, take some of the weight out of it, because our reciprocating mass now is only 500 grams, that piston and rod combo, whereas normally it's like 720 grams. So I turned the crank down, so it's a tiny little thing, so it just popped straight out, nothing caught. It was really easy to change it. That's the size of a standard web there. You can see there's a lot more material on it. So it's a nice lightweight crank. Condition wise, we'll start with the crankshaft. I've had a good go over it with the torch and the magnifying glass. I know where they start cracking, and it's not looking like it's cracking at all. And the nicest thing for me is the condition of the middle main, because I was concerned. I mean, it's got a bit of polishing on it, don't get me wrong, but we didn't have the greatest oil pressure because of these enormous holes that I've drilled in the mains gallery to squirt up at the pistons. But I can forgive the bearings for not looking the best, and the big ends were second hand to start with. They're just out of an old motorbike. There's no money in this job. It's only purely for me to test with. I was concerned that the crank would be getting a flex on. That was my biggest concern. So when that happens, we see the edges of the bearings all beveled where the crank's been moving, but it looks like the crank is in many ways happier as a skinny crank with only a 35mm pin opposed to a 41.25mm pin. So I've lost like 6.25mm off the big end pin, which has reduced its overlap. You know, we always talk about the cross section here. This is what gives it the strength, the difference between the big end pin and the mains diameter. It's reduced that overlap considerably, but because the reciprocating mass is so much less, a third less almost, you know, it means that the stresses on the crankshaft are not the same, because you remember the biggest stress an engine sees is changing the weight of that piston and rod. Every time it goes up and down, it has to stop and then bring it back down again, stop and take it back up again. So when it's at the top and it's got to come back down, that's when the stresses occur. So yeah, this is looking quite good, this. I'm quite pleased. What we'll do is I'm going to bung these holes now. These are the little holes that I made for the oil. I think they're 1 or 1.5 or something. I'm going to bung them. They're in every main. So each piston has got its own squirter. And then what I'm going to do is give the crank a quick polish and put it back together again, basically, because obviously we not took the head off. Head's still on. That's all good. I even questioned, look at this, there's that much clearance in this. I reckon I could get that piston past there and get the piston out. The only thing is, I don't know how I'd get the rings back in, so I've refrained from doing that. It would have been nice to see how the pistons looked, you know, but looking at everything else, I'd say they're probably going to be okay. So I'm going to stop waffling and crack on with that. Also, I'd probably like to get a little bit of a squeeze out of this engine and the dyno behind me before we go home. Right, just finished that little task. Managed to get the grub screws in. Then you can see them. They're Loctited. Little M3 grub screws I've put in the holes to bung them. One in the end there. And of course, one in number 1 as well. Just there. So yeah, that will stop the oil from going up to the back of the piston, which I didn't seem to notice any difference. It probably wasn't running a high enough compression ratio to make any difference, to be fair to it. But anyway, it was what it was. We were just trying different things. So bung them. I need to get it back together, but I want to run this engine briefly before I go home, just so I know I'm on the right tracks for tomorrow. Right, okay, we're on and running with the Alex and Jenny engine. So this came to me as a 1012cc 73mm bore engine with an R21 camshaft, and they were really happy with its performance. Before it came to me, it just had a small issue with coolant loss, which we've been into before, so we won't go into it again. But we fixed all that, made it 74mm, so it's a 1040 now, and I've put one of the modern BJ camshafts in it, which has got 400 thou lift. So I'm expecting to see, and I should be able to get 80 foot-pound of torque out of this. I've just bolted the carbs straight back on. I haven't done anything to them at all. I've had a look at what's inside them, and it's nothing like I'd normally run. But because they were so happy with the way it was running, I thought, well, it's not going to be lean with what it's got, so I'll just run it and see what it does. It's got quite small chokes in it, 30mm, which is fine with the old school cam, but the modern cam will run bigger chokes, no problem. But I don't want to. I could quite easily tune this to a point that makes them think it's worse than when they had it, basically, because if they've been used to a nice bit of low down punch and it suddenly disappears and they don't use it to 8,500, then they won't feel any benefit. I have been here before and made this mistake, so I might leave it on the 30mm chokes if I can make it do the decent torque up at the top end, because the head's quite nice on it. It should flow, everything should work, but we'll just have to see what happens. I've got moderate amount of advance in it. Advance curve is all in the wrong place. It's got one of these I think they're called 1, 2, 3 dizzies. I don't know how it works yet, whether it's a Bluetooth one we can make our own map, or whether it's a predetermined map that you choose. But it's doing all its advance before 4,000 RPM, so that's not really any good for what we want. But I just thought we'd just get a load on it tonight. It's done a fair bit of running, probably wants to clear its throat now. It's been idling around quite a while. All of its vitals seem good, the engine seems to be really quite fit, so we'll wind it up. These are odd carburetors, these as well. These aren't normal DCOEs. They are a DCOE, but they're off a Rapier H120 engine, so it has a castellated float cover where the float chamber gets its air from, and the end of the carburetor is blanked off. I'll go in and talk about it later. Seems to pick up really nice. Try and grab it low down. I don't really want to take it past 6.5, 7 on its first night of, you know, everyone's still making friends inside. We've got to remember that. Right, get it at 5.5 here. 6,000, holding 68 foot-pound. Sorry, about 75, 76 foot-pound. That's quite good. That. We'll load it down a bit. It's actually really friendly, this. 5,000, about 75. Let's try it at 4.5. Oh, Dyno's got hold of it now, I won't let go. So, the question is, I think we'll change the emulsion tubes first to what I think it should have in it. And then we'll move on to the rest of it and look at the rest of it. Bit of smoke there. Where is it smoking? Is that just fuel? Let's try and grab it at 4.5. Normally this cam doesn't work till 4.5. It's all a bit too friendly, this won't do any horsepower. I'll back it off now, but the advance is all wrong, I've got to remember that. And I do think it'd benefit from an F16 emulsion tube. Try and grab it at 6.5, 7. It's quite smoky, this. don't understand that. Oh, I know why it's smoking. It's because the exhaust was full of coolant when it came to me. It's not out of the engine, it's just burning it off. Right, cool. Right, I've just come in to check the engine out. Just what I was going to say, this is the DCOEs that are off the Rapier H120 engine. They don't have a hole for, this is normally a vent for the float chamber, but what it has instead is has this system here where it has a castellated spacer that goes underneath here so that the air can draw in that gap there. Do you see it? Good idea if you've got like lots of muck going this way or something, but not very good if you want to steam clean the engine because all the water goes straight into the top of the carburetor. But anyway, I think we're going to go to a bigger choke size on this, put it on 32s, and I think it'll prefer that. It'll shift everything up the RPM range because it's it looks like it's running okay, to be fair, with what it's got, but there's no point having the cam that wild and everything and it producing power down there. Although I don't want to knock it completely, I just want to make use of the area the cam's got and make sure it does the sort of 100 odd horsepower, 105 horsepower or whatever, up at sort of 8,000 RPM. So we're not going to achieve that, I don't think, with the choke size we've got. So I'll do some more running before I change them just to see if it will do it. But we're going to have to sort this advance out as well. I don't know which one that is. No, there's two different types of these. There's one that's got like a fixed advance curve, and there's one that's got a Bluetoothable one. That means you can, yeah, I think that's the early one where it's got a fixed advance curve. We'll undo this little hex here, and behind there is, I think, like a rotary knob. I'll Google it tonight and find out what's going on. But apart from that, does it look like it's oil tight? Is it oil tight? Oh, that's quite handy, isn't it? I fitted them with a rear oil seal on it, you know, a conversion, as you probably saw earlier in the week. So we'll wrap that up for tonight and go home and get on charge, ready for tomorrow's graft.
Good morning, chaps. It's Friday, just before dinner. I thought we'd have a bit of a visual on the camera and say hello. I somehow I've managed to twinge me back, so I'm trying to stand upright to stop it from hurting. Probably trying to carry this lump in yesterday. Anyway, it was red hot this morning and I couldn't sleep, and I'm lying there thinking, why am I lying here wasting time? I could be at work. So I got up at the crack of dawn, came in and put this all back together. So this is the engine. We did the cross drilling, all the bungs are in now, and we've got a standard oil pump in it, so hopefully it'll run some decent oil pressure now rather than 30 psi like it did when it had all the escape holes for the jets for the pistons. Anyway, done that, done a few other little mods to it which I'll share with you eventually. Just need to find out if they work first. But that's ready to go in the dyno, so we're turning our attentions to the engine and the dyno. So I'll just go in the next room.
Right, if I zoom in on that bit there, as I pump this now, you'll see, oh no, there's no pump in that one. I took the piston out. So can you see the fuel? Can you see how long? It's quite a long shot of fuel, that, for an imp. So what we'll do is we'll put some shorter hockey sticks in it, and then that'll give it less of a pump of fuel and hopefully clean it up a bit on acceleration. Right, okay, so you can probably just about tell I've took 5mm off the length of these, so you can see the travel is a lot shorter, and that should result in, we'll just set this up so it comes on. Right, okay YouTubers, we're on the dyno again with the Alex and Jenny engine. I've been doing some playing around and I think I've just about got to where I wanted to get to. The engine is doing more power than I expected it to be fair. We have actually seen 84 foot-pound of torque out of it at 5,500 RPM, and it hangs on pretty well as well. Now obviously we've changed the hockeys in the carb, so it does accelerate really well now. You can literally go, it's got a lot of load on it there, but I can literally go wide open from like 3,500 and it just pulls it, no problem at all. Now the advance curve is all wrong. However, it does actually seem to cope with it better than I thought. There you not the type I thought it was. When I undid the plug in the side, hoping to find a connector for a USB, there was nothing in there, so it's like a fixed advance curve one. Straight round to 83, 84 at 5,000. That'll be really good, that. They'll like that. That'll be good for getting out the hairpins out heavy car. 6.3, still holding 80 foot-pound at 6.5. It really is quite good, this. See what it's like at 8. Still holding 68 foot-pound at 8.5 there. Probably half right horsepower that as well. I'll just do a little calculation. Right, okay, I'm back. I just did a little calculation there. It's 110 horsepower, that. And what really annoys me about this job is this engine is like, it's on an old Maniflow exhaust system. The head is their head that I've just tried to tweak a bit. The compression ratio didn't work out particularly high. It is on new pistons and block, etc. You know, it's all been done, but it is just, I just know that the engine that's behind me on the bench here that I've done the offset bore on isn't going to be as good as this. It's crazy, isn't it? Anyway, we'll go back. I've just changed the fueling on it because I just considered it might have had a little bit too much hanging around. Let's see what it's like. Look at that. It's like 86 foot-pound at 6,000. Flat as a pancake, lovely. Just holds it, when I say flat, I mean it just holds its torque beautifully. This is like one of them situations where you just never know how something's going to go until you run it. Simple as that. And even when you think you know what you're doing, you don't really. You just think you do. Still holding sort of 82 there at 5.5. I'm going to back the Dyno off. Let's see what it's like at the top again. So at 7 it's holding 80. Yep, that's really good, that. I hope they enjoy it. Right, I'll go and do a few checks and then we'll probably put that one in the outro. Better say a few words to summarize this engine. So it's actually worked out as like one of the really good ones, this, which I now have to try and work out why. I'll be honest, I thought it'd do 80 foot-pound, but to do 85, 86 was like up there with the best that I've ever run, really. Admittedly, it doesn't hang on quite the same as if it's. Remember, I'm only on small chokes here. I've left it on small chokes to keep the airspeed up because it's a hill climb engine and the area under the curve is really important. You know, the more area, with more RPM range we've got good torque for, the better this car will go up the hill. So, yeah, I've left it on the small chokes to keep the airspeed up. It would do more at the top end with more air available to it, but yeah, it was just so good. I'm like, now I've got to try and fathom out what it is that makes it so good. Because the advance is all over and done with at 3,000 RPM. It's like totally wrong. And then it just runs 31 degrees. It's not even got loads of advance, considering it's only 11.56 to 1 compression. So, yeah, what a nice result for a Friday. I suppose what we should do now is try and get a little tune out of the offset bore engine on the same day. Oh, it is actually quite a good air day. So, all right, it's okay, we'll panic over it. It's 1,032 millibars, so that will be helping, and it's quite cool today. So maybe it's not quite as good. We'll say it's a good 105 horsepower, but considering where the head was at, if you remember, this one had the wheel springs all offset to one side. I was a bit dubious of it at one stage, but I made myself happy with it, and now I'm really happy. So hopefully they'll enjoy that. I'll get it unbolted and get the next one on. Okay, ShrigleyTubers, we've fell shy of where our achievements need to be. I did want to run the offset engine, which I've now renamed the Durco engine, because we've glued it together with this Durco. It's not great, it's like an off-white paste. Anyway, I was going to run it now. It's Friday evening, and I thought, you know what, we're not going to get time to run it properly, so why not just leave it, let it set, go home, have a rest. I'm off Saturday and Sunday, and then we'll come in next week with a fresh view on it, and try and get some numbers out of it, because really it's got to run Monday morning, and then go in the car ready for Tuesday. So not much of an order. Anyway, we're going to turn this into the goodbye video, so I'll say thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed what you've seen. If you did enjoy it, I'll look forward to seeing you next Sunday at 7, although we may see you on Tuesday night, because I'm going to the American car show at Alton Park on Saturday tomorrow with the kids and the wife, so I'll try and get some video footage of anything exciting for you to view on Tuesday night. Brill. Okay, hope you have a great week. I look forward to seeing you next Sunday at 7. Bye for now. Chaps, I'm back temporarily. It's Saturday late evening. I've been painting garage doors. You might remember the Honda 90. Well, I dragged him back home the other day because we're moving units. And my mate suggested that I had no key for it. He said, if you get this number off here and type it in on the internet, they'll post you a key. So they did. Guess what? We've got ignition. So that's the ignition on. I've just cleaned the points. For those that are interested, this is an early Honda 90. It has to have a 6-volt battery. It has a conventional coil and a point system. It doesn't have a magneto. So I had an old battery. Put a bit of charge in that. Just piped in 6 volts. Bit of a shady earth there. But look at this, plugs out. Got no compression, but is there a spark? Can you see it? Just trying to hold that still whilst doing that. Let's do a leg movement. There we go. It's got a spark. So, and my mate came round and gave me a mudguard. It's a bit shady, but we're gonna get it all painted grey and then try and send off for a logbook for it. In the meantime, I've got to somehow try and make one carburetor out of the two, and then we can get a little tune out of it. Couldn't resist it. I've put a little bit of petrol down there. It's a bit fuming here. Hope it don't go up in flames. Hillman in front pulling up. I might have too much air going on. A new shed it in a. Better put the carb on properly now. Brilliant.